Hello everyone, this is Priyasha from XAT and here is your part 3 of Quant's Bootcamp. So last wale ke liye just giving you a quick heads up that the last one was part 2 of the entire Quant Bootcamp, not the arithmetic. This is the part 2 of the arithmetic. Previously we covered some topics, now we'll be covering more topics. I would be covering up the important things to be considered for ratio, proportion, variation, mixture, alligation, partnership, and the weighted averages. Okay, with averages I will also be considering a bit of stats like median, mod. I'll also take up range. I'll also take up harmonic mean and GM, all those things. Okay, so let's get started. Let's quickly have a look. Also, let me tell you that the ones who are watching it for the first time, guys, this is a revision video, so you will be using it accordingly. Number one, if you're someone who has already done these things before, so you can go into the depth of all the things I'm talking about. The detailed video on all these topics are available on my channel, so just go and check the QRS, that is the quick revision sheet, where you can get the detailed video of all of these. But if you are someone who has not touched this topic before or is not confident in this, then please go through these important topics which I'm talking about right now, so that at least you will be in a good position to handle these type of questions in the examination, or at least make an educated guess. Okay, so let's get started. When it comes to ratio, there are few properties which all of you should remember. One of them goes by alternando and invertendo. So invertendo is that if there is a ratio given, ratio or proportion is basically when you are comparing two ratios together as equivalent fractions. Let's say that if I take the example of 1 by 3 and I multiply the numerator and denominator both by 3, then I'll get 3 by 9. So if you observe this carefully, 1 by 3 and 3 by 9 are two different ratios which are in proportion. Rather, I should say it is in continued proportion, because if this is A, this is B, this is C and this is D, then B and C are same. Okay, but if you take of a normal example, then you can go by 1 by 3 and then you can multiply it with 2 and then you can get a 2 by 6. So this will be your A, this will be your B, this will be your C, this will be your D. Now you can apply this example to all the properties given above. What they say is that if you just invert the positions, that is numerator denominator ko just exchange kar doge, that is the reciprocal, you would see that the ratio still holds true, and that is called as the invertendo rule. The purpose behind knowing this is when they give you to solve or simplify some ratios, you can apply these properties to get your answer. Similarly, if alternando is when you replace the value, that is you replace this denominator and make it this numerator and replace this denominator with this, then also the value remains the same. Now is componendo. Componendo is when you add up the numerator with the denominator and make it your new numerator and keep the old denominator same, and if you do that in both the ratios, then it will be absolutely same, will not change its value at all. You can try this with the example given here on your own. Similarly, dividendo is when you subtract the numerator with the denominator and make it the new numerator and keep the denominator the same, the value of the ratios will still be the same. The simplest value or the simplest function would be the same. And one more property is when you have the componendo dividendo together, so the componendo part will become my numerator and the dividendo part will become my denominator. And iski puri ek डेरिवेशन आती है कि ये हम कैसे पहुंचते हैं, इसमें वी यूज इन्वर्टेंडो अगेन एंड गेट दिस फॉर्मूला. सो यू डोंट हैव टू लर्न द derivation, you have to just know this formula. It would be helpful for clarifying some of the questions. Now I have brought a sample question for all of you just to show that in case they add an inequality in the question, this will not add up to the difficulty level. Why? Because it will still remain the same ratio questions you practiced. How? Look at this. What is the least integer which when added to both the integers of the ratio 5:9 will make a ratio 7:10? So what is happening is that an old ratio is given to you and you are supposed to convert this old ratio into a new ratio of 7/10 by adding a certain number. Since it's a ratio, I don't know that whether it is 5/9 or it is an equivalent fraction like 10/18 or something like that. So that's why I'll take a value of k here. So I'm taking the numbers as 5k and 9k, and my assumption is that I am taking an x which when added to this number will convert the ratio into 7/10. But is it is equals to 7/10? No, it's greater than, as per the sentence here. So just because a greater than sign is replacing an equals to sign, it will not add on to your difficulty, because all the calculations will remain the same. you will cross multiply, you will multiply 10 with this value, you will multiply 7 with this value, get this thing instead of an equals to, the now you're having a greater than sign. You will solve it completely and you will get the value of x in terms of k. Now when they talk about the least value, okay, you need the least value of x. So for keeping the x minimum, you have to keep the k also minimum, and if you move it to minimum, assume it to be as 1, that is the integer least what you want to take up right now. So you will see that x will be greater than 13 by 3. Now 13 by 3 will be 4 point something something. So therefore the least integer which can be added to this value would be 5, the next one. Okay, so this is the process how you're supposed to move ahead and do the questions. Just because aapko ek different sign dikh raha hai, you should not miss that question. Similarly, there are some interesting questions on the screen where I have taken ratios questions just to tell you that how you will do it. Here they say that the ratio of A is to B and B is to C is same, that is 3 is to 2. So if there are 3 people and you want to convert 2 ratios into 1 ratio, how would you do that? You will take the connecting link between the two, that is B, and the connecting link is B. So whatever ratio of B is coming, like in this value the B is 2 and in this value the B is 3, just multiply them together and make them equal, that is you can find the LCM also, and just go for it. If you go for it and try to make it 6 over here, what do you need to do? You have to multiply 3 to make it 6, so multiply 3 in this value also. You have to multiply with 2 to make it 6, so multiply 2 with this value also, and you get the composite ratio as 9 is to 6 is to 4. Uske baad to calculate kaise karna hai, this is very evidently visible on the screen. You can try it on your own as well. Similarly, the next interesting part of the question below is the cost of the diamond varying for the square of its weight. So here we have a proportion, or here we have a relation where the cost is directly proportional to the square of the weight of the diamond. So if the weight of the diamond is 10 decigrams with the cost of 1600, so find the loss incurred if you break it into two pieces whose weights become in the ratio of 2 is to 3. So the first thing which you need to do in such type of questions is to establish the relationship, which is that the cost is directly proportional to the square of the weight, and since we don't know the proportional value, so we will name it as k. Now we know the value of C and we know the value of W, so we can easily calculate the value of K with the help of this. And when we divide it, we get the value of K as 16. The moment we get the value of K, we are supposed to put it in the terms of the ratio, that is 2 is to 5. Now 2 is to 3 is the value of the two pieces, so the total will be 5 for sure. So 2 pieces out of 5 pieces multiplied with 10 decigram gives you the value of 4, and this gives you the value of 6. But we know that the cost will be equals to k into w square. So k is 16 and you square the value of the weights you are getting and you will get the value 256 and 757, 576 in the two cases. Now when you add that up, you get the total amount as 832, but you knew that the actual cost was 1600, so the loss you have incurred is the subtracted value of the two, which is 768. तो देख रहे हो एक प्यारी सी क्वेश्चन है, बट उसको किस तरह से यू आर डिवाइडिंग इनटू बिट्स एंड पार्ट्स एंड आंसरिंग. नाउ कमिंग डाउन टू द नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ पार्टनरशिप. सो सारे लोग ध्यान से सुनेंगे. पार्टनरशिप के लिए क्या करना होता है, you have to again go by the ratios only. So this is a part and parcel of ratios only, where the partnership is done in simple partnership as well as compound partnership. Simple partnership is where only your investment ratio is used to calculate the ratio of your profit or to calculate the ratio of your loss. Okay, but if it is a compound partnership, then then your profit or your loss depends upon more than one factor. It not only depends upon your investment but also on the period of your investment. I'll give you a question and make it more simpler for you people. So have a look that ABC are in a partnership. Okay, so let's take this number 1500, 2500 and 3000 rupees respectively is the amount they enter into the business. Okay, A is getting 1/10 of the total profit because he is the manager, and the remaining profit is divided among the three in the ratio of their investment. Now one place where you should put your focus on while reading a question is that once A gets its share, uske baad bhi kya usko मिलेगा. That is, after A gets 1/10th of the total profit, will he also get a part of the additional profit? The answer is yes, because this is the keyword. Most of the people mess up in this part where they think that 1/10th is already given, so no more division. But this is wrong. Here, read the question carefully. It is saying 3. So this means after he gets this amount, he will also distribute this amount. Okay. So A's total share is 369. That means I know कि मुझे किस चीज को किस चीज से equate करना है. What is the equation which I am going to make here? I am going to make an equation for the share of A, where I will start with considering the total profit as X. Okay. And here the A share will be firstly 1/10th of X. This is the first part. And this is the second part. You have to take an understand the purpose here. How am I getting 3/14? How am I getting 3/14, guys? Just take this value. 15 is to 25 is to 30. Why have I deleted these double zeros from the end? Because they all are multiples of 100. तो उनको हटा दो. Now bring this ratio into the simplest form. If I divide all by 15, I get a 3, I get a 5, and I get a 6. Okay. So that means the sum total becomes 14 parts, out of which 3 parts are for A. So 3/14 is the share in the profit. Okay, it is a share in the profit of the remaining amount, that is 9/10x, because 1/10x is already given to A as a manager. So this equation together will help you to get the value of the X, that is the total profit. Once you calculate and get the total value of X as 1260, what is your next step to be done? You calculate the amount which is given as 1/10th. So if I calculate the amount which is given as 1/10th, I can distribute that remaining amount in the people. Or else if you want to go by the solution written over here, you take 5/14, that is B's part, multiply it with 9/10 of the total amount, and then you get your answer. Same happens in the case of C also. So see, I want to show you that these specific questions open your mind a lot in these. Okay. Now moving down to another topic, which is weighted averages. When you come to averages, you know you have to calculate the sum and divide it by the number of terms. But we also have some additional measures like mod. Mod talks about the number which is repeated the maximum number of times. So if I give you a random data here, like you see in this example, the mod is 4 because it is repeated 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times, which is maximum out of any other number. But remember, there can be more than one mods as well. There can be a certain number which is repeated the same number of times as the other number. Similarly, median. How will median help you? Median is basically that if a number set is given to you, you arrange it in the ascending order. Okay, like ऐसे आपको number दे दिया गया है, तो first you arrange it in the ascending order and then find out the number which is falling exactly in the middle, like 4th from the left and 4th from the right. So 40 will be my answer. But there will be a condition where the number of numbers given to you would not be an odd number. तो odd number नहीं है तो हम median कैसे निकालेंगे? So for the even case, we will take बीच का दो number. Like for example, 48 does not exist. So we will take बीच का दोनों number, that is 39 and 40, and find out its average, and that will be 39.5. So this is the way how you're supposed to calculate the median of even number of terms, and this is for the odd number of terms. Now moving down, ये एक example है आपका median of even terms का भी. You can just take a look by pausing the video. Now we'll move with the relationship between mod, median, and mean, that is the average. So there's a relationship which says that the mod of any range would be 3 times the median minus 2 times the average. You can try to do it or derive it with the help of any example which comes to your mind, and most probably you will get it right. Then coming down to mean, geometric mean. So average or arithmetic mean is what we already know, which is the average. You take the sum and you divide it by the number of terms. But when it comes to geometric mean, it is very special, because in geometric mean, suppose you have to find out the geometric mean of 3 numbers. So you are supposed to multiply all the 3 number and find its cube root. Okay, find its cube root. Similarly, if someone asks you the geometric mean of 2 numbers, you multiply those numbers and find out the square root of that. So basically, this formula goes like A into B into dot 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 n whole multiplied with 1 by n. That means whatever is the number of terms. Okay, now coming down to harmonic mean. Harmonic mean is very special because harmonic mean is most likely used in your time, speed, distance questions to calculate the relative speed and all that. The simple formula is 2ab divided by a plus b, but this is only applicable for the case of two numbers. जहाँ आपके numbers ज़्यादा हो गए वहाँ पर आप ये use करोगे. I'll give you a quick example over here. Like for example, इसमें आपको क्या करना है कि you will go by reversing the number and then finding out its average and then getting it added. इतने detail में जाने की जरूरत नहीं because आज तक की history में so far we have not got such a kind of a question, so I expect not to be coming up in this exam also. So just keep this quickly in mind that 2ab by a plus b is something gonna help you all. Now moving to two relationships which will help you. One is that the GM square, that is geometric mean square, is the product of the arithmetic mean and the harmonic mean. So with the help of this data, if a question talks about arithmetic mean and harmonic mean, you can calculate GM and vice versa, whatever is your asked question. Similarly, the arithmetic mean would always be greater than equals to the geometric mean, and the geometric mean will always be greater than equals to the harmonic mean of the same data. I'll repeat it again. Now moving to the last topic, which is mixtures and alligations for this video. Mixtures are of different types. Simple mixtures तो काफी easily understandable है क्योंकि जब दो तरह की अलग चीजें होती हैं whose prices are also different, then we multiply them in the same ratio and then add it up. But then when it comes to alligation rules, it is slightly different. Now this alligation rule states that when the different quantities of the same or different ingredients of different costs are mixed together, then they produce a mixture whose value would be completely different. So the alligation formula which you should remember definitely, because this really saves a lot of your time, is the quantity of the cheaper good by the quantity of the higher priced good, which is called as dear also, is equals to the difference between the price of the higher quantity minus mean divided by mean minus cheaper. So if you use this alligation rule to calculate this question, you will get the answer very fast. They are asking you in what proportion should you mix it. So basically take the value of the cheap tea, okay, and subtract it from the average, okay, and then similarly do the same, take the average and subtract the cheaper one. You will take the value of dear minus average, and average minus cheaper gives you the value of the proportion. Okay, now comes the compound mixtures. Compound mixtures is not very frequently asked, but then they are a direct question. Remember, abhi kabhi bhi पूछेगा तो directly पूछ दिया जाएगा. So I'll give you an example which you can solve in three different ways. मेरा ये सबसे प्यारा example है to revise the allegation notes because this helps me clear up my mind. Now take an example of a container which contains milk and water in the ratio of 4:5, and another vessel B which contains the same, that is milk and water only, in a different ratio 5:1. So in what proportion should the quantities be taken in A and B to form a mixture in which water and milk will be in the proportion of 5 is to, milk and water will be 5:4. Now what I do in this case, first I'll go by the drawing process जो सबसे fastest है, but only for those who understand it well. So try to understand in this video if possible. I will take down the value of this, which is average 5/9. Okay, I'll take the value of vessel A, vessel B, उसकी price का ratio, and then cross multiply. I'll get the value. But if you are not comfortable with this, let's go with the value of X, which is a little longer, but definitely a sure shot method to give you the answer. Let the 9x be the total quantity taken from A and 6y from the quantity of B. Okay, the purpose behind that is the sum 5 plus 1 and the sum 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4 makes 9 and 5 plus 1 makes 6. इसीलिए हमने इस तरह की 9x और 6x की values ली हैं. And then the total milk taken out will be 4/9 of 9x plus 5/6 of 6y, keeping in mind this number. Milk is 4 and here the milk is 5. So next will be the sum which I will calculate and get as 4x plus 5y. And the same thing I'll do for water, and I'll get the value of water in the terms of x and y, which will be 16x plus 20y. Now I know that these two quantities can be further equated or taken a ratio of. So if I take the values of the ratio, I get the value of x by y as 15:9. But this is not the answer of the question. You have to do the value of 9x by 6y. So if I do 9x by 6y, I land up with a 5 by 2, which is 5:2. This is the most best formula. And another third way of getting this answer is quantity taken from A, which is 5 by 6 minus 5 by 9. If you understand what I mean by here is this diagram only. Okay. And the other quantity taken from B is 5 by 9 minus 4 by 9. कैसे हो रहा है? 4/9 यहाँ है और ये 5/9 यहाँ है. इन दोनों का डिफरेंस निकाल लोगे तो you will get the value. I'll again repeat, this is only for the experts or for the ones who have done allegation chapter before. The people who are watching it for the first time or touching allegation for the first time, प्लीज रेफर एक्स की प्रोसेस. ये लॉन्ग जरूर है बट ये श्योर शॉर्ट एक्यूरेट आंसर्स देंगी आपको. ओके, so if you are new to allegations, please go by X. If you have already done allegation and it's a purely revision for you people, then you can go by the method number 1 or 2. And with this, I come to the end of the video where I repeat the same thing, that if you like this video, please hit that like button and comment below. Trust me guys, बहुत मेहनत लग रही है, मेरी हालत खराब हो रही है, but I'm still doing this because I'm reading the comments and seeing कि कुछ लोग तो है जरूर जिन्हें मुझे मतलब जिनको सचमुच जरूरत है. So I am doing it for them, so they make sure that you people comment below and shower your love. Share it with more and more people and subscribe to my channel, please. If you haven't done that yet, share it with more and more people and just stay tuned with the channel. I'll be dropping more videos because I have to anyways complete it by Saturday. Okay, so I'll be dropping more videos. Stay tuned. And please follow the playlist link of XAT Bootcamps, where you will find all the videos together. It is there in the highlighted comment and the description box. Take care, love, and study hard.